Hey, what's up guys? This is Mason Mueller here at LeRoy and Lewis Barbecue. We're getting ready for another awesome weekend event. This time we're gonna be going to Hot Luck, Aaron Franklin's Austin Festival. We've been doing it for a couple years now, and this year I was super lucky. Evan asked me if I wanted to go ahead and design the menu for it. And anyone who knows anything about me, I am very passionate about rice bowls. Barbecue rice bowls in particular has been one of my biggest interests and something that I really have wanted to lean into for a while, and Evan has known that. And so what better chance to do it but for the Hot Luck Festival. So this year we're gonna be doing a beef tinga, which is inspired by a dish that Cole had done at our truck, chicken tinga dish. And so we're just playing with that with beef. And then we're gonna do an esquite slaw, which is gonna be a lot of fun. Roasted corn, red cabbage, and then all the stuff you'd expect from like elote or esquites. So chili powder, mayo, crema, cotija cheese, lime juice, all the good stuff really. And so a lot of those flavors already kind of lend themselves to the same flavor profile as the slaw. A little bit tangy, rich, creamy. So just kind of mixing the both worlds together. And then it's gonna go on a bed of cilantro lime white rice. Gonna be made here in-house. All of it assembled and be this nice little eating experience. And it's gonna be awesome. So first thing we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna get our corn over on our direct box, the chud pit. That's gonna help just get a little color on it, cook it through, get it nice and roasty. And that's gonna go into the esquite slaw, obviously. And then while we're also here working today, we're gonna go inside, get our tomatoes and onions on the grill so that way they get a nice little char on them for the tinga sauce. Then we're gonna go ahead and finish assembling that so it's ready when the beef is done, and that can braise the morning of the event, and we'll be ready to go. So that's what we're gonna knock out today. That's a lot of corn. This is gonna be our corn for our esquite slaw that we're doing for Hot Luck this year. This is just some good old fashioned frozen kernel corn. We're gonna get a little color, a little smoke on this over on our chud box. And then this is gonna eventually turn into the esquite slaw, red cabbage, lime juice, cotija, all the good stuff. Let's roll. So we're gonna go ahead and get this corn right on our chud box here. That way we can get a little direct heat under it, a little direct coal action, get a little smoky flavor. Corn going in. It's crazy how much corn that is, and it is gonna go so fast. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just leave that on here, let that get some smoke and some color on it. Come out later, probably rotate it, but for the most part, this is just gonna run for a little bit, get some nice color. We'll take it inside, and then that way it'll be ready for Sunday morning for us to go ahead and mix with the rest of the ingredients, load it up and go. Corn. Now we can go inside and make the tinga. So for our tinga sauce, really, we're gonna need tomatoes, onions, a cilantro, some garlic, chipotles, which is one of the biggest ingredients, and lime juice. Pretty simple, but we're just gonna make a nice rich sauce that our beef is gonna braise in, kind of give it that little bit of extra flavor, and it's gonna go really nicely on our rice bowl. Basically, I'm looking for something that has like a little bit of natural gravy to it because we want it to kind of mix in with the flavors of the rice, and tinga sauce has just been really nice for that. We get tomatoes on. This is not hugely important, we just like a little color on these. So really, anywhere will do. They won't be on here long. Just a little bit of color, a little bit of char. Got a lot of tomatoes for this. It's a very tomato heavy sauce, at least the way I make it. For the tinga, we really started being introduced to that, at least me, because I had never had it before. When Cole used some of our leftover chicken, people actually used to not buy our chicken, crazy enough. And we would take it off the bone, and then he would do a chicken tinga, which is actually quite a bit more traditional. But interestingly enough, he did not use chipotles in it, but that was kind of my first introduction to it, and I really enjoyed having it over rice as kind of like a little rice bowl that I would do myself. And so when this opportunity came around, and Evan kind of was thinking that I was going to be going towards a rice bowl because that's what I like to do, this was just kind of right what popped into my head. And I knew we were going to have beef to do it with, so rolled with the beef tinga. All right, there's a lot of tomatoes.
Licking the flames.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the last thing.
Okay, that's all the tomatoes, finally. Some of these are already getting a little bit of char. Oh yeah, I will grab some tongs now. It gets a little hot. You can't tell by the sweat. This is a hot one. Hot, hot, hot. Get these onions on just so they're out of the way. All right, there we go. Now the onions are on here. That means we can start pulling some of our tomatoes already done. These are all gonna be nice right back here. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Nice little bit of char, skin starting to come off. That's what we like. Nice little bit of flavor. It's officially now a fire roasted tomato, you know? They make you pay extra for that in the grocery store, so we just do it ourselves. Look at the color on those. Beauties. So if the skin is just kind of coming off like that too, then we know it's good to go. It's okay if the skin stays because we get to keep our char, but if it comes off, it's obviously ready to come off. We don't want to cook our tomatoes all the way. They're going to braise down some, so if they're feeling a little bit soft too, I'm going to go ahead and pull them off. Woo-hoo, that's hot. There's something about the vinyl gloves. I have a vinyl glove under this and one over, and I feel like it just amplifies the heat. Call me crazy, but it does like the opposite of the heat glove. Like traps the heat in. Check on our onions here in a sec too, see how those are going along. Nice. Nice little bit of color starting to form up on those. I'm gonna pull the rest of these off. Got a nice little bit of char on just about everything. Tomato, tomato, tomato. Potato, potato, potato. All right, for the onions here, we're gonna go ahead and flip them over. We're moving them over to the fireside now. We just want a little bit of char on them. We just wanna start getting them softened so that when we go to mix all of the rest of our sauce together, they'll kind of blend up nicely. That's got those really nice char lines on it. The dark, that one and that one. That's what we like. And then one of the biggest things we're gonna wanna do is get a lid on this. We want the tomatoes to sweat, and that way the skins will come off easier, because we do want a little bit of the char, but we don't want any of the really burned pieces. It'll make our sauce taste burnt, and we don't want that. So throw on our lid, let those sweat, and then we'll throw our onions in to do the same once they're done here. Oh, 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 lovely. The biggest thing is these are going into a pan, into a pot to cook down and braise, so they don't need to be cooked. It's all about just building our layers of flavor. I'll find you the perfect one. Oh, that's the one. Look at that. Like that little bit of marinade on there. On the back, a little bit of char as well.
Well, we didn't want it. It was too good for us.
Yeah, it was overrated. That was gonna ruin the sauce anyways. Rest in peace, sweet onion boy. You'll be missed. Thank you, Robbie. Kobe. That's it for the grill. Now comes the fun part. Let these guys sweat. So, we got our onions and tomatoes here. We've got cilantro and garlic cloves here. Got, most important ingredient, the chipotles in adobo sauce. This is what's gonna give us a nice smoky flavor, provide the heat. We're just gonna get, honestly with the onions, the char on there is gonna be fine. I wanna keep that, because it's not really skin, it's like onion flesh. So, we'll just throw those right in the pot. That way they can start sauteing a little more. And this is just a dry pot right now. I'm just letting them get like a little bit more sear on them essentially. And onions have a lot of water in them, so they're gonna naturally sweat out and provide us a little bit of natural moisture here. And then while that's going, I'm gonna start taking the extra crispy bits of skin off my tomato. Just those little bits of skin. And that's what we want. A little bit of char on there is good, but no skin, no burn pieces. That'll go right in there. And just kind of look over all of them as I go. Don't need to be too picky, but we're trying to get as much of this like charred skin as we can off, because that's not gonna be as palatable. Oh yeah, look at this one. This one's straight goopy. So that's probably even a little more cooked than we want, but it's all good. We do a lot of like Tex-Mex, Mexican-inspired dishes here, so it kind of fits into the ethos of what we're doing with L&L, but then it kind of also matches up with like what I want to do, which is rice bowls. So, but most of the components of this dish are inspired by Mexican food. The slaw on top is an esquite slaw, which is obviously a popular street food. Roasted corn, cut off of the cob and then dressed up. And we're just gonna do a variation on it with some red cabbage, make it more of a slaw. Basically, I wanna make a bowl that's the best version of a Chipotle bowl. We're even doing cilantro lime rice. We're just trying to be much better than Chipotle is, which is, you know, definitely easy for us. Now, it's time for the boat oar, and we'll get this stirred up. All right, now I'm gonna get in there and stir it all around. So this is what we want. We wanna see the flesh of these guys start to break down a little. soften up. We've got that natural moisture we want from the tomatoes and onions. Not gonna have to worry about it drying out. All right, so we're just gonna let those cook for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're gonna go in with the rest of our ingredients. Now we got some of our dry spice as well. So for dry spice on this, we're keeping it super simple. We're just doing some cumin and some oregano. There's obviously a lot of flavor already going on in this dish, so we don't need to go too crazy with the dry spices. So we're doing an 8-time recipe, and the original recipe calls for 25 grams of cumin, so 200 grams of cumin going in this. And then oregano, we're only doing 80 grams of that, so 80 grams of oregano is actually quite a lot though, it's kind of light. All right, and now we are perfectly timed to go ahead and add everything in. We've got quite a nice little juice here at the bottom. That's what we want, because that means our tomatoes are juicing out. You see, and it's boiling too. That's helping everything cook down. The smells coming off this too are amazing. It's that fire roasted tomato and onion combo. And then we're just gonna go in with everything else. Super simple. We have our chipotles, which are kind of almost the other half of this sauce when you think about it. Go ahead and put that in the pan. Always a splash risk in the kitchen. Then we're gonna go in with all of our cilantro, and we're going stem and all on this, and our garlic that's already peeled, obviously, just everything straight in there. Then last, just our dry spice, cumin and oregano, and then lime juice, which is another one of the kind of main players of this dish, I'll say, because it needs that kind of cut against the richness of everything else. So we're just gonna start with a quart, probably about 3/4 of that, because this is kind of monitoring how wet our sauce is gonna be. We can adjust as needed. Do you wanna know what though? Forgot to take the rubber bands off the cilantro. Classic. Glad I noticed now. Okay, we mixed it. Now we can mix, get everybody to know each other in here. This is gonna get emulsified and then blended into a nice smooth sauce that's gonna braise our beef. So right now we kind of just want to get everything familiar with each other, and then we're gonna go in there with our immersion blender. It's gonna need a little bit more lime juice too, so go ahead and just put the rest of that in there. We also have to do salt as well, but I'm gonna wait till it's more of a smooth sauce and then salt, that we can taste it a little bit closer to what it's gonna be like on the final product. That way if we need to make adjustments to lime juice or dry spice, we can. So this has got a nice little bubble going. It's the perfect time to start trying to emulsify it. Kind of a slow process. Kind of feels like you're banging your head against the wall. But as you can see, we've already got a little bit of that sauce starting to form with that rich color. Oh, it's actually going much better than last time. Yeah, this is looking good. That's what we want. It has like a super rich Chipotle smell to it. All right, this is looking pretty good. Main thing we want to do here is get rid of all the big chunks of onion and tomato. This is obviously going to get blended into a very smooth sauce. But as you see, got no big chunks left, and that's what we're going for. And now we'll split this into batches and blend it. So you can see it's almost like a chunky salsa right now. And we just want it to be nice and smooth, more like a gravy almost, which sounds weird, but kind of like a tomato gravy. You see, this is kind of what we want right here. It's almost like a cross between like a pulverized salsa and a gravy, like a thick gravy. What's great about this too is as we heat it up with our beef, when we go to braise that, we can add a little bit more liquid in, and it will kind of just work its way in through the natural fat and everything of the meat, and we'll get this nice smooth gravy. Just gonna do that like 5 or 6 more times and we're there. We're just gonna taste, add salt, maybe add a little more lime juice, and it's ready to go for Sunday. Hey Aaron, could you throw some coals under the corn and chud box too when you get a chance? Yeah. Thank you, buddy, I appreciate it. Smells good. This Tinga's looking really good. Yes, yes. Okay, we're done. There's our Tinga sauce, ready for Sunday. We gotta just put the salt now. Let's get a little taste. It's pretty spicy.
I would say.
Gonna add a little more lime juice and some salt, because we need the salt to wake up all the other flavors. Lime juice, the tanginess will kind of help cut the spicy, give it a complementary flavor. But that's kind of that hits you in the throat kind of spice. That's what we're looking for. Just because that way, I think there's this like thing with the brain that when you're eating food that's like slightly spicy, not crazy spicy, but your brain just tells you to keep eating. Eat it, eat it, eat it, get it down. And that's what I'm trying to go for here. Okay, so we're gonna do some more lime juice and some more salt. Just gonna go with another half quart of our lime juice here. So that brings us up to about 1.5 quarts of lime juice. There's quite a bit going in this recipe. Actually, I won't use all of that because it's already a nice texture. We don't want to change the texture too much. Yeah, look at that. We want that nice, smooth sauce. That's absolutely beautiful. Now we need salt. It's quite a lot of sauce, and there's no salt been added at all, so we're gonna add a good amount to start. Cool. Get that worked in. That should be about 200 grams of salt into this whole batch so far. Not really a crazy amount, and that should be perfect. I won't even need to taste it. Good to go. And so this is gonna be a little bit spicy, because again, like I said, it's a little more on the raw side. When we braise it with the beef fat that will be released and kind of mix in here, and it'll kind of cook it down a little bit more. It'll still be nice and spicy, but not near as hot as it is right now as we're trying it. Which is kind of the best part about this dish. You can tune it a little spicy to start, and then it will naturally kind of mellow. Who's gonna taste test? Hey Zach, will you come taste test this? Yeah. Oh, I should give it to him on a tortilla chip. Yeah.
Do they? No.
It's like the best salsa.
Show them the pits.
What'd you say?
Show them the pits.
It's a little hot still on this phase because it's gonna cook down, but I like the hot to tang ratio. The smoothness is good too.
Money in the bank.
Let's go.
Very good.
Perfect.
Very good.
Our sauce is ready. So
seasoning.
our beef is gonna braise, and then this will go onto it when it's done. Braise a little bit more together, and then it's ready to go. When did I do that? With the blender? Oh, pouring it. I was doing it for the video. I'm sorry, Mariana. Here, I'll do your laundry. I'll do your laundry this month, okay? Yeah, this is the hot luck sauce. It's a little spicy right now, but it's gonna cook down.
Ooh.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah?
I like it.
I think it's good.
On the rice bowl?
Yeah. Yeah, you get it. You like it. Aw, yeah. You wanna go check the corn real quick? Our corn is looking nice. As you can see, it's not really getting much color at this point, just kind of cooking down a little bit. We just want to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom or burning onto the bottom. But essentially, we're just getting us a little bit of roasty, doasty corn here. We've got some of that like tension throughout it, which means that it is heating up. The kernels are sticking to each other. It's starting to have a little bit of Maillard reaction, which is exactly what we're looking for. Get a little bit of chaw. So that is looking good. It's really one of these things where it's just kind of be over the coals for a little bit, getting its color. We want it to dry out just a little bit, not too much obviously, because we don't want to dry corn in our slaw, but also there's going to be a lot of other moisture that's going back into it. We've got the lime juice, we've got crema, we've got mayo, we've got cotija cheese. So all of that's going to make it a very nice, like, you know, wetness per se, moist. Oh God. And we don't want too much extra from our corn. Corn sweat, basically. But that's it. That's all we can do today. So for Sunday then, the plan will be, we've got our corn. Aaron's gonna finish that, take it inside so that it's ready. We'll take our beef that's gonna be braised down, put it with the tinga, braise it a little, take all of our meat out ingredients for our esquite slaw, corn, crema, mayo, the red cabbage, all that, cotija, mix it together, and then everything will be ready to go for the Hot Luck event. We're gonna just make up our cilantro lime rice, and then we're ready to rock. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. It's now Sunday morning, the morning of Hot Luck 24. We're kind of doing the finishing touches now on a couple things. I've got my tinga sauce here ready to go. We've got beef finishing up in the oven. We're gonna get those combined, let them kind of marry, get to know each other, braise down a hair before we get ready to go. Then we're gonna get mixed up our corn esquite slaw, so that's gonna get some red cabbage, all the other kind of traditional dressings of elote or esquites. And we got our cilantro lime rice ready to go, and that's pretty much it. We're getting ready
kind of putting the finishing touches on everything, and then we're gonna be headed out to Wild Onion Ranch. I'm looking forward to it. So we got some really nice beef here, and it's now a nice pulled beef. You can see super tender on the texture here. That's what we're looking for, and we just got plenty of extra stock here that we want to drain off. Obviously, we're gonna lose a little bit of the fat because as it's rendered, it's kind of come out of the meat, but that's okay because we're still gonna have a lot of natural fat in there, which is gonna go great with that sauce. So let's get it drained off real quick. Splash zone. Smells amazing. It's like the best roast beef ever. So really, we don't need to go crazy here and like drain it. We're just trying to get a little of the excess stock off. But you can see how good this looks. Okay. And then we got one more pan, also this beef. But I mean, this is what we're looking for here. Super tender, really nice. Essentially just becoming a really tender pulled beef. It's gonna be perfect. So this recipe has gone through a couple variations. When we first opened the brick and mortar restaurant, I knew we were gonna have a lot of pulled beef that would probably be available to us for this event, just because we really wanted to get cranking with the cooking when we got started here at our brick and mortar. And I kind of based the recipe around our classic chopped beef that we serve here at the restaurant, which is made from whole cod, the beef butt, and then basically cooked down, chopped up. Very similar to how like a pork butt would be done. So it's almost kind of like a pulled beef version of pulled pork. But actually we ended up using some chuck for this, which I love chuck. I love the ratio meat to fat. And as you can see, this has ended up being super tender and beautiful. This is nice hot beef for hot luck, buddy. And we'll get some of that Tinga sauce on top of there. Don't want to go too crazy. We got plenty more beef, but we do want this to be nice and saucy. And then let's get that mixed up, see what it looks like consistency wise. We really want the beef to be mixing with this nice rich sauce. Get a nice little kick, little spice. It's got plenty of lime juice in there to provide some extra tang. This recipe is basically just layered versions of cilantro and lime. Mixed in with some other good flavors, of course, but cilantro and lime in every part of it. All right, that's what we're looking for. This could even use maybe a little more sauce, but I think we'll save a little back so when we're ready for the event, we can put a little fresh sauce right on top. Lovely. And then we'll do that again until we have all of our beef and Tinga sauce dished out. This is really nice. It smells like fresh tomato, but then there's just all that level of flavor built into it. Chipotle, those grilled onions. It's very nice. All right, and that is our beef Tinga ready to go. Evan's gonna get a little extra sauce on top so it's ready to transport. We got plenty of extra, so we wanna make sure it's all really nice and saucy. We don't want dry meat, no one wants that. We'll start getting this stuff together for the slaw. Get that laid down.
Catering tip, double pan, always double pan. Get something heavy like this.
So this is gonna be for our esquite slaw. We've got our corn. You see it's got a nice little bit of color and char to it. Otherwise it's just some nice cooked corn. So we're gonna really load this up. This has gotta be majority corn. Cabbage is in there to add a nice little textural contrast, a little crunch, nice little color contrast as well. And then obviously we're gonna add a lot of those traditional elote esquites type ingredients. Mayo, crema, cotija, lime juice, cilantro, and then we're gonna do a little chili powder on top. So let's bust out some cabbage for our mix here. Yeah, that's kind of the mix we're looking for there, of corn to cabbage. It's looking good. All right, and now time to dress these. So we'll get a little fresh cilantro, nice little pop of green, nothing too crazy, we just need a little bit in there. And then we're gonna go in with some cotija cheese. Just go with the whole bag in this one. Cotija is gonna add a nice little saltiness in there. All right, and then we're gonna go in with some of our mayo and some crema. This is just to add that nice creamy texture we want. Got some crema here that we made in-house. And then we're gonna add some lime juice. Quite a bit of lime juice for this. We want a nice tang. And then some salt. Then we're gonna mix that all together. And then we're going to do this the good old-fashioned way, taste and adjust. We also want to check texture. We want nice and creamy. You see now that mayo and that crema is getting worked in. It's starting to look really nice. Got those colors all coming together. There we go. That's what we like right there. We're looking for that. Now we're gonna just taste and adjust. Let's get a little bit of corn, cabbage, everything in there. Let's try that. We'll do a little bit more lime juice and a little bit more salt. Otherwise, I think it's really good. It's got that crunch, nice little smokiness from the corn. We just want a little bit more tart in there and a little bit more salt to kind of help elevate all the other flavors. The cotija in there is really nice, adds a nice little layer to it. I was gonna do ancho with like a little bit of cayenne in it for a little extra kick.
They call me Chili P because I put chili powder in the meth I make. Bitch. Mr. White. Mr. White, it's gotta have the chili powder. It's my signature. It's what people know me for.
All right, here we go. We're loading up. We got all the food out. We're getting ready to head over to Wild Onion Ranch, get set up. We're a little late for our load-in time. Let's hope Aaron is a forgiving God.